Hello, 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 everybody, and welcome back. It's day 3 of the 3-day challenge, the 3-day Hashi's Energy Reboot Challenge. Welcome back, everybody. Can you believe it is day 3? We have been together for 2 days prior, and this is our last day. But it's not quite the end yet because I have decided to give you a bonus day for this challenge. This coming Saturday, I have decided to come back on Saturday, and we will be talking about healthy mind for a healthy Hashi's body. So it kind of like brings it full circle, and it really puts it under the umbrella of the right mindset for us to be able to move forward on our journey with Hashimoto, so that we can gain energy, so that we can have the life that we want to live, that we can make the choices, that we don't have to arrange our schedules and lives around our flares, our symptoms, our inabilities of doing certain things. It should be the other way around. We are making the decisions of what we would like to do in our lives with Hashimoto's. So a healthy mindset is truly something that needs to come in as an overarching theme to all of the previous 3 pillars that we have talked about or will be talking about today. So what I'm going to do now, it is 7:04. I'm going to be hopping on my Facebook group just to see if everything is okay over there. I know that this time is a lot more, you know, I was going to say client friendly, but we're not clients, but it's a little bit more accessible for people to come on live. So again, if I see somebody live, because I'll be checking today and I'll be responding actively so that I see who is commenting, because that is part of the fun, and that is also part of the engagement prize that you can win in the end. So let me just see. I'm going to go back to my group. As always, I'm going to check in if I can see myself, and there I am. I'm going to be putting up my comments so that I can see who is coming on live and who is checking, what's happening here and commenting on my live. I am very excited about this session today, and I know that a lot of you have been too. I really want to try to bring it full circle for you guys today at the end of the challenge of the 3 days of main teachings, because the purpose of this challenge is for you to gain more information, understanding, awareness of the root causes that have been triggering your Hashimoto's, but also that keep you stuck in a state of inflammation, fatigue, energy, weight gain, all of the inflammatory symptoms that keeps you stuck in that position where you're feeling that you are not gaining any traction with it. Those 3 pillars that we have been journeying through together, and today will be our last day, are the foundational pillars that everybody will have to address with Hashimoto's, so that you can really reach a journey towards rejuvenation and recovery, and in the end, remission without symptoms, so that you feel like a normal person, so that you don't identify yourself anymore with an autoimmune disease, so that you don't suffer anymore from your symptoms that just really put such a bummer on your life. This is the main goal, and those 3 days are truly the 3 pillars that everybody, regardless of where they're at in their journey, will have to focus on and bring into homeostasis, so that you can then apply all the other bells and whistles that are out there in terms of supplements, in terms of detox protocols, in terms of other, parasite cleanses, whatever it is out there. You can add those things as a next layer on the strong foundation that you're building with the 3 pillars that we have discussed. So before I go any further today, I just wanted to, number one, kind of like summarize the past 2 days. And then I want to say thank you for all of you guys who have been joining me on this journey. I'm so grateful that you took the time out of your busy schedules to be with me. I hope that you're learning a lot, and I hope that you're taking notes, and I hope that you are having some additional tools in your tool belt that you can now use for yourselves in the future, starting today. That is the whole point. For those of you who have registered for the challenge, as you might or might have not heard, for those of you hopping on for the first time, I have actually created two engagement prices. For those of you who have been registered with me for the challenge and who have been coming on here, you can win, number one, a $50 Whole Foods card gift card that I'm giving away. For that, there's two things that you will have to accomplish. The number one thing is that you have to watch all the sessions, and you have to, of course, comment and engage in the comments of those sessions. It doesn't matter if you come on live or if you watch in the replay, but comment on it. Let me know that you're here. Give me your input. Engage with me so that I see where you're at and what you're learning from these experiences. That is number one. Number two is homework. There are homework threads after each day, which you can then put into action and put in the comments what you have been doing as a homework and actually do the homework, right? So that you actually start to put action forth. Those two things you have to accomplish every day until the end of the challenge, and you have time to do that until the end of Sunday this week to complete, and then you will be eligible to win the $50 Whole Foods gift card or a grocery store of your choice. The other bigger engagement prize that I have decided to throw in the game this time is my full scholarship for my 4-month signature program, the Hashimoto's Fatigue Solution. That is my absolute favorite 4-month foundational program in which we are diving deep into those 3 pillars that we have been discussing with our last day today. And I will give away a full scholarship for somebody who does all of those 2 things I just mentioned. And additionally, who is interested in winning this scholarship, you'll have to book in a 30-minute breakthrough call with me so that I can see that you're interested in winning the scholarship, and we can see on the breakthrough call if this might be a good fit for you and what you would achieve and what you would gain from this experience of being in the scholarship in that 4-month program. So those are the 3 things that you'll have to do in order for us to move forward with a scholarship. Everybody else, you can still hop on a free 30-minute breakthrough call with me. Sometimes we get stuck a little bit in the overwhelm of the information. Sometimes you might have already implemented a lot of these things, and they might not be working for you, or they seem to not be working for you. Just bring them to me on the 30-minute free breakthrough call. I have made time in my schedule for you guys this week so that I can be a full service for you during this challenge and give you the most benefits of sharing your time with me here. So book in the 30-minute breakthrough calls. Women have been booking them in already. I've been hopping on a few calls already. So the schedule is filling up, and I'll really want you to meet with me because it is a free session. So that is just a summary of what you can do in order to win those prizes. But now let's get started with the third day, the nervous system. So who in here, whether you're live or in the replay, who has been thinking about, or who knows about the impact of the nervous system on your Hashimoto's, but you are a little bit unsure as to what that actually means and how the nervous system is adding to your fatigue and your inflammatory responses. So if you are if you heard about it, but if you're a little bit confused or not sure how it all comes together, say, yes, that's me. Then I know where you're at. So the prior 2 days, the gut health and the detoxification pathways, you have really come to realize how everything in the body is connected and how all of these symptoms overlap with one another. And the nervous system is very similar to that. The nervous system is a system that rules a lot of organs and a lot of functions in our bodies. And the nervous system is a really huge topic. There are a lot of parts to the nervous system, and it would be too much if I were to go through every single part of the nervous system with you. So what I have been doing is at this session, I have been extracting the most important themes and things to share with you that are most impactful from an understanding, from a knowledge point, but also from a standpoint of action taking, which parts of the nervous system you can easily start to support starting today, so that you can move forward on your energy route and your Hashimoto's health. The nervous system is crucially important when it comes to our state of energy, and you will learn as to why that is today. So there is a huge connection between the nervous system and Hashimoto's, and we'll dive into it today. The connection between the nervous system and Hashimoto's is actually twofold. It's two parts, which I really want to explain a little bit in detail with you. So there's two different parts that are important to approaching the nervous system for creating homeostasis back in your body. So your nervous system, of course, is your peripheral nervous system, your nerve endings, and then we have the vagus nerve and the enteric nervous system. So it runs through your entire body. That is one part to it. From a structural point, but also the nervous system has a lot of organs that are connected with regulating it, right? So the adrenals are one part of it, and then also your thyroid and your gut microbiome, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. But the two different parts that are important to approach the nervous system from to create homeostasis are, number one, past events that have a root cause trigger in Hashimoto's inflammation. So what you have probably heard that somebody with Hashimoto's has usually what happens is that somebody with Hashimoto's has been experiencing tremendous distress in their lives. That can be honestly anything. It can mean a lot of different things for a lot of different people. But what you have heard probably is that the nervous system response has been activated because of constant chronic emotional distress in some people with Hashimoto's, in most of us. So I can share my own personal story here to drive that home a little bit more. So for me personally, what triggered me falling off the cliff, so to speak, with me really becoming so inflamed, so out of balance, and so you know just full of symptoms and full of inflammation in my body, was that when I was, even though I've had Hashimoto's probably before, that really caused a flare for me that took me over the edge, and then everything just came crashing down in my body. And the event for me, it was an event. So for me, it was the fact that when I was pregnant with my first child, my mother passed away from pancreatic cancer. So I was very close with my mother, and that was a very traumatic experience for me. So I had to deal with the loss of my mother, grieving for the loss of my mother as I was experiencing my first pregnancy in a country that was new to me, because I had just recently moved to Canada. So that was something that was lingering for a very long time, this situation, this stress in my body. And for many people, there's different events. And maybe, some people are being brought up in a very dysfunctional household, and they have been experiencing a lot of stress for a long period of time when they were kids and children. There's so many different things. For some people, it's a relationship that is really stressful, and for some people, it is job related. So it's something different for everybody. But what I'm trying to say here is that one part to a nervous system dysregulation is the past event or events that have the level of a root cause trigger in Hashimoto's inflammation. What happens is that you are stuck in fight or flight, your body is stuck in fight or flight, and functions and systems start to break down in your body unconsciously. You're not even aware of it. But this second part that is important to approaching nervous system dysfunction, to bring it back into homeostasis, is focusing on what you can do in the present moment to remedy the dysregulation. So I really just want to hone in on that, because it's really so important to see the distinction between both of them. So when we say nervous system dysregulation, yes, it's likely stems from past events, but unfortunately, we can't go back in time. We cannot change time. We cannot change those events. They have been experienced, and they have left their marks in our bodies. However, what we can do, and what we have the power to do, is that we can actually consciously, right now in the present moment, work on starting to regulate our nervous system response with specific tools and strategies that I'm going to share some of with you tonight, long term, so that our nervous system is starting to rebalance and regulate itself again, so that eventually, when we're strong enough, and when we have the ability, and when we're ready, we can tackle the past events that will then bring us to the next level of nervous system regulation, homeostasis, because I truly believe that those two things need to be addressed eventually for us to become our very best with Hashimoto's. So I just wanted to really make a clear distinction here, and make and really explain the difference. I hope that makes sense. Let me know in the comments if that resonates with you, those two facts that I just stated. So having said that, when we're talking about past events of emotional trauma and stress in our lives, what can happen is, or what usually does happen is, during these days that we've lived in stress, it can severely decrease your vagus tone from your vagus nerve. So the vagus nerve is a very crucial and important part of your nervous system. The vagus nerve is our biggest parasympathetic pathway that governs so many things. So it starts at the neck here, so the base of your brain, and then runs all the way through your body down to your anus. And it really has all of those nerve endings that reach out into different areas in your body and different organs. So it's really connected with everything in your body. And it governs, number one, digestion. It governs heart rate, and it governs your immune response and your immune activation. So I really want to say digestion here, because we have talked about gut health, and that is something I really want to just emphasize, for you to see the connection between the nervous system and your gut issues. So a lot of women come to me, and with Hashimoto's, I think we all now understand that we all have digestive dysfunction. a lot of women come to me and they haven't had regular bowel movements and they have been constipated for 15 plus years. They have been struggling with bloating. They feel 5 to 9 months pregnant every day of their lives. They can't travel properly. They can't enjoy social outings, restaurant visits because of the bloating, because of the gas, because of the pain, because all of that, the digestive dysfunction. Now I want to pull in the vagus nerve. Do you see how that really is connected? The vagus nerve really governs digestion, and especially the movement of your contractions that is moving your food through the digestive tract. So if your vagus tone has been lowered because of stress and distress, your transit time has become very low, which I see with a lot of women in my clinical practice. The first thing we do is we test transit test time, and I would say hands down 98% of the time people have a very low transit time. So just wanted to make that connection here. Okay, so now that we know that, what does that mean for us? It means that if you have been living in a state of distress daily for a long time, your digestion and your immune system have over time lost their ability to function properly, right? So all these things are starting to lose their functions, or let's say they have lost their ability to function in a rest and digest state, right? Or in a rest and relax state. All of these symptoms have been reacting or acting within a fight or flight state. So really, really important to understand. Your vagus nerve has lost its tone. And I will give you some ideas at the end of the session on how you can start to stimulate your vagus nerve, because that is the number one game changer for you that you can incorporate to start to rebalance your nervous system. So see all of these things, digestion and immune system, detoxification, connection, we have talked about in day 1 and day 2. And now they come together full circle here, because we now understand that those 3 pillars are all connected and all work together. They cannot be separated from one another. Additionally, I want to give you another clinical pearl here, which I find is so fascinating. Again, this is just me nerding out on the gut microbiome, but it's just so fascinating. I think it's going to become more and more important for all of us to understand. So there is recent research, I say 10 to 20 years, it has been found, and there's so much studies going on, that the gut microbiome that we talked in depth about and the nervous system connection is huge. So it has been shown that there are brain immune cells in your brain, and your brain's resident immune cells, they interact with your gut microbiome. So your immune cells in the brain interact with the gut microbiome. They're modulating their function and influencing neuroinflammation and vice versa. So how do you think our gut microbiome bacteria communicating with your resident immune cells? Well, it's along the vagus nerve, right? And so it's really important to understand that when we're experiencing these stress factors over time and our vagal tone goes down, that this communication also goes down. It's not 100%, right? So the bacteria in your gut that are communicating with one another, they're always interacting with one another in your gut. They are creating metabolites, and those metabolites are signaling your resident immune cells in your brain when something is wrong, or if something is not going well. So just think about that when it comes to inflammation, right? Very, very important. So Oh, I see Kimberly is on. Hello, Kimberly. How are you? Okay, that is okay. Very good. So it's really hard to say which imbalance came first, right? So we talked a lot about different imbalances, the gut microbiome, gut health in general, and detoxification pathways, toxic overload, and nervous system dysfunction. So it's really hard to say which imbalance came first. And I really just want to drive that home because I find a lot of people and women, they're getting stuck in the thinking of, if I only find my own personal one root cause that caused all of my Hashimoto's and I fix it, then I'll be good. But unfortunately, I wish it wouldn't be that way, but unfortunately, that's not how it works. We cannot say which imbalance came first because they're so intertwined, as you are now learning. They all depend on each other and their well-being, and then they adapt to each system's well-being, and then they start to fall out of balance, etc., etc. They all weave into one another. And at the end of the day, I always say, at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what your, clinical root cause is that made you start an autoimmune response. What matters is that you understand those three pillars and that you understand what kind of action you can take right away in this present moment in time, because that is the way to get out of inflammation, right? We're moving forward. We're not going backwards. So while root causes to the imbalance of our nervous system matter, for example, trauma and stress that I've talked about at the beginning of the session, we cannot reverse that experience, right? I'm going to say it again. What we need to do is we need to deal with it to reassure our bodies that it is safe and secure. We need to deal with it in this present moment with the right tools so that we move forward in a rest and digest, rest and relax state. And to do that, we need the right mindset, right? So we need to have a really strong understanding of who we are in this journey and where we're going. And that's why I have decided to talk about this mindset piece in a bonus session, which I mentioned at the beginning of the session, in day 4, my bonus day, which I'll be hosting on Saturday at noon Eastern. So that is when we talk about self-compassion, self-love, the umbrella of the mindset piece, which is all about self-compassion, self-love, a positive self-picture of yourself, and faith and forgiveness. But we'll talk about it on Saturday if you want to join me again. Super excited for it. But what we need to be aware of right now and understand is how the nervous system works and what it is and how we can support it right now in the present moment. And so when we understand that, we can, it's easier for us to find the tools that work best for us. Okay. So I will start to give you some ideas on how to do that, right? So I will say, hands down, the biggest game changer in bringing balance back to your nervous system response is sleep. So let me know in the comments, give me a hands up or said, yes, that's me, if you have had sleep issues in the past. So I know that a lot of women are really struggling with sleep these days. Not just women with Hashimoto's, a lot of other women too, but especially us with Hashimoto's are struggling with sleep, and I'll talk in a minute about why that is. So let me know if that was you. Yes. So Kimberly says yes. And sleep is honestly the single most important lifestyle adjustment to make for your energy levels and inflammation levels from a nervous system perspective. And I'll say because this challenge is under the umbrella of, energy reboot, I really wanted to just hone in and center in on that one thing that you can really support so well that if your body is starting to regain sleep function, quality sleep, the level of energy that you will be experiencing is amazing. It's unbelievable. We all know that when we have a good night's sleep, our bodies feel better, right? I'll give you the reasons as to why that is for us with Hashimoto's in just a second. But honestly, this is the singular most important shift you can work on. Because sleep is not just something that you do every night. It is, or maybe it isn't. For many, it isn't, unfortunately, but it should be. But it's not something you just do. There's a lot of things that are happening at night. Sleep is, in its essence, it's a nervous system regulator. So you have to take a look at this. It's a nervous system regulator. How so? Well, I'm going to give you three distinct impacts that sleep has on your Hashimoto's body. And I encourage you to write those down and refer back to them because they're really powerful to know about. Okay. So write down the following impact that sleep has on your body. It will, honestly, I think it will be an eye opener for you. So the first one, I'm just going to go back to my notes. Give me 1 second. Okay. So the first one that I want to mention here is the detoxification system of your brain. So when we go to sleep, there is such a thing as we all learned about. Sorry, I'm jumping back and forth. Let me start again. Yesterday in day 2, we talked about the lymphatic system. So you are now all aware that the lymphatic system is your garbage waste removal system, very crucial to keep the toxic load down on your body. Well, let me tell you that it has been shown that there is a similar system in your brain. So it's called the glymphatic system. Okay, so basically lymphatic with a G in front of it, glymphatic. And it has also been shown that the glymphatic action is only activated during sleep and not wakefulness. So why is that important for us to understand for the nervous system response? It's really important for us to understand because when the glymphatic system is in action, it drains the lymphatic fluid in your brain out of your system into the glymphatic system to clean waste material. It removes waste material out of your brain that can cause neuroinflammation and other sort of inflammation. Now, what does that mean? For everybody in here who has experienced brain fog, hands up, before in their lives, I just had a conversation with one of my clients yesterday that one of the worst symptoms you can have is severe brain fog. I've lived it. I know it. If you don't sleep, your drainage that, by the way, shrinks your brain, it's not quite clear yet whether it's by like 30% or 50%, but quite an amount. It shrinks your brain because it drains your brain overnight from all the waste material. It only happens during sleep so that it can clean itself and that you get rid of inflammatory molecules in your brain. I mean, I don't know about you, but I find that is fascinating, and that is just an eye-opener to really know that this can be a cause to your brain fog that you're experiencing, right? So number one, really impactful reason as to why you have to make sleep your priority. Let me know in the comments if this is new information for you, the glymphatic system, or if you have heard about it. The second one I was going to mention is the cortisol melatonin balance. So during a stress response, of course, there is adrenaline. And if the chronic stress response is ongoing because the stressor doesn't stop, the adrenaline turns into cortisol. Then we have cortisol that is constantly being pumped by your adrenal glands. So the cortisol it's important because it's needed to keep you alert and keep you in a fight or flight situation, but it needs to calm down at the end of the day. If this doesn't happen, there's a lot of things that can go wrong, right? One of the things I was going to mention to you, because I'm sure that you might have not known about this, is that the cortisol that is produced by your adrenal glands, because it's so that whole process is so energy driven, the constant cortisol production, adrenal glands are not supposed to be producing cortisol all the time. It's so energy driven that it diverts energy away from your thyroid. It literally steals the energy from your thyroid function, which over time can cause your thyroid gland to malfunction. So there is this connection between the thyroid and the adrenal glands that cannot be underestimated, especially for us with Hashimoto's, right? Because the more you are giving into the stressful life now, constantly, without starting to regulate it, the more you're taken away from your thyroid, the more damage you're creating to your thyroid just by doing that. So at the end of the day, if that happens, cortisol, melatonin, they become out of balance. Melatonin will be low, cortisol will be high. Cortisol suppresses melatonin at all times. Only when cortisol goes down, melatonin can rise, which can additionally then cause issues when you are trying to fall asleep, right? So during sleep, the cortisol, when you get good quality sleep, your cortisol production will start to lower. You will give your adrenals some reprieve if you are entering a quality sleep phase. So very, very important to know. The third one that I wanted to mention to you is why sleep is so important for us to hone in on is blood sugar stabilization. So I know that we haven't talked about blood sugar stabilization here in this challenge because that would have been just gone way too far. It's a huge topic that I actually deep dive into my Hashimoto's fatigue solution program. That is a huge module because it's so important. But I will give you a quick overview here to make you understand as to why that is so important, right? If anybody tells you you don't have blood sugar stabilization, I question that because I have yet to come across somebody with Hashimoto's who has not have insulin resistance or blood sugar issues, energy crashes resulting from blood sugar issues, right? Lots of ups and downs in your energy. So why is sleep so important when it comes to blood sugar stabilization? Sleep, deep sleep, 7 hours of good quality sleep are needed in order to sharpen our insulin response. Very important to understand. One of the reasons why women either gain weight even though they're cutting calories or they think they're eating all the right things, but if they don't sleep, they're gaining weight just by default. Why is that? Because your insulin response is being affected negatively. Quality sleep is needed to sharpen insulin response. You have most likely realized or noticed on your own that when you don't have a good night's sleep, you are more hungry the next day. It's a direct correlation to the insulin response that has been lowered in your body. Okay, so it messes with your hormones. Not sleeping messes with your hormones. It messes with your cortisol and melatonin, which can cause a lot of inflammation and fatigue. And it messes with your insulin response, which can cause weight loss issues. And it messes with your one of your detoxification pathways, which is the lymphatic system in the brain, which can cause a lot of brain fog. So I just wanted to pause here for a second because that was a whole lot of information that I just gave you. But I just want to pause here and see if that makes sense to you. If you see that, we all know that we need to sleep, but now having this information, does it make you feel almost like, oh my goodness, I really want to work on my sleep now because I really want to get these things in balance so that I can stay and become a healthy or more energetic, less brain fog, and just, less inflamed. So you can see now how all of these three areas work together, right? Those three areas that we talked about over the past 3 days. And all of these three areas are massively impacting your energy levels from different perspectives. Right? So crucial to understand. I just want to also wanted to mention here, because what I've done in my Hashimoto's Fatigue Solution program is because sleep is so important, I have actually made it a whole module inside my HFS. So what we do in there is we actually guide my clients, we guide you through creating a sleep routine that works for you, because we understand the importance of it and the difficulty of creating such a plan. Of course, we give some supplements, and we give you a full-fledged blood sugar protocol to help you stay asleep and reduce cravings and energy crashes, which can also be extremely helpful to regain energy. So Kimberly says, I really need an extra 1 of sleep. I'm going to work on this. Yes, 100%. So important. So yes, so important that we actually made it a module along with the blood sugar stabilization for sure. So to give you a quick summary before we go into tools and strategies, from a nervous system perspective, it is important to long-term deal and with the past events that might have triggered or pushed you over the edge in terms of inflammatory response with your Hashimoto's. But what's equally important is that you can and you have to focus on the present moment and how you can remedy and support your nervous system right now, so that you are getting into a place where you can then unfold and really address the past events from what that happened to you back in the days. So before I go into some tools and support for your nervous system and sleep, I just also wanted to quickly review the nervous system dysregulation from a root cause perspective. So what happened during this time of distress, right? All these times that have led your nervous system to crash, to become imbalanced. What happened inside your body, right? What happened? So we mentioned the vagus nerve, but there's also a set of very important glands that control the stress response. So whether that is even now, like in this, day and age right now, the situation you're in. Maybe you're frustrated, you're overwhelmed, you're having all of these symptoms. You can't go to work properly. You're always tired. Your family is not understanding quite what you're going through. You feel a lot of stress. Back then and right now, the root cause trigger to nervous system imbalance from a glandular perspective lies in your adrenal glands. Yes, so let me know if you have heard about the adrenal glands before, or if that is a new piece of information for you. So that is one of the major stress glands that we need to support, and we can support daily for you to step out of the fight or flight and go into the rest and digest. We don't want to overburden our adrenals from a nervous system perspective, because they are powerful glands. But if they start to become tired, and if we start to go into some sort of adrenal fatigue, like your energy levels are going to be below what you have ever experienced. And adrenal fatigue is something that that's a next level thing that people are starting to experience when they are already dealing with Hashimoto's fatigue. So it's very important to make sure that we do that. Why is it important? I wanted to give you one more clinical pearl here, so to make that connection, especially for those of you who are dealing with menopausal issues or perimenopausal issues. Your adrenal glands, they regulate your stress response. If you don't know where they sit on top of your kidneys, and they're really small. They're like the size of a walnut-ish. And they sit on top of your kidneys, and they are regulating your stress response through cortisol production, right? Very important. As I said before, too much stimulation of the adrenal gland all the time is taking away energy that is needed for your thyroid function. And it starts to dysregulate your thyroid function in addition. But not only that, everybody who has hot flashes, menopausal issues, all of that jazz, you can listen up now, because the adrenal glands also produce estrogen in a little amount. And that becomes extremely important for us as women in our health when it comes to our second half of our lifetime, when our menses stop. Because when we're experiencing those huge hormonal shifts, the estrogens are dripping so low, the estrogen that the adrenals can produce can actually help to buffer symptoms. So people who have really taken care of their adrenals over many, many years, they don't experience much of the common symptoms, such as hot flashes, sleep issues, again, right, with the sleep issues, hot flashes, brain fog, and all of these things, because the estrogen production is still a little bit there that helps your body to adjust to this new phase. But so many people have just overburdened and burned out their adrenals to such an extent that estrogen production cannot happen in the adrenals anymore. And then when you're experiencing the sudden estrogen drop in menopause and perimenopause, that can really cause symptoms for you. So adrenal glands are extremely, extremely important to look after when it comes to nervous system dysregulation, and something that you can do on a daily basis. So just to quickly summarize, right now what we've been doing is I gave you an overview of the 3 most critical areas of the nervous system that you can address in order to feel better from an energy level, inflammation level, and symptom level in general, which is the vagus nerve support, sleep as a tool and lifestyle change, and adrenal support. Those are the 3 most critical things you can support right away. And you will feel better if you're doing this. So I want to share with you some tools to help you out here when it comes to sleep. So, like I said before, sleep is so important that we have created a whole module around this in my Hashimoto's Fatigue Solution Group program. So my 4-month signature program. And what we do there is we help you create a sleep hygiene plan. So, and that is my number one tip for you today. You need to start to create a sleep hygiene plan for you, whatever that looks like. But you have to make sure that you create consistency around sleep hygiene because sleep is so important. So how can you do that? Well, the first thing you need to understand is that sleep is very dependent on your circadian rhythm. So your sleep-wake cycle in your body. Circadian rhythm rules the whole game of falling asleep, staying asleep, and waking up. And the most important factor that really helps your circadian rhythm to get back into range is the exposure to light and the exposure to darkness in a strategic way. You have to train your body to be exposed to bright daylight very early on in the morning. And then you have to create a sleep hygiene program that allows you to dim the lights in the evening before you go to bed. This might require some lifestyle changes. This might require you to either not watch TV up until the very last minute you go to sleep. This might require you to get off the phone 1 to 2 hours before you go to sleep. Maybe you can dim your lights in the evening to help your body to reduce the cortisol and push up the melatonin because it responds to light. Very, very important. Blackout curtains, all that jazz. So exposure to daylight in the morning and then dimming lights in the evening. No blue lights in the evening. Another thing you can do is your body actually has to drop its body temperature by 1 to 2 degrees in order to initiate sleep. So what you can do is you can try to cool your room in the room that you sleep in, your bedroom. So try to cool your body down. What you can also do is you can have a hot bath in the evening, and then when you get out of that hot bath, your body automatically starts to cool down very quickly, which can trigger tiredness, and it can trigger the body temperature to drop to such an extent that it initiates sleep in your body, right? And thirdly, there's of course some natural remedies that I would like to share with you that you can try if you want to support your nervous system in helping it go to sleep a little bit easier. So there is number one is L-theanine. There's valerian and passion flower. I'm not going to go into details as to how they work. That's what I do in my programs with my clients. But I just wanted to give you that information. So L-theanine, valerian, and passion flower are really great remedies to help your nervous system slow down in the evening to get to sleep a little bit better. When it comes to adrenal glands, I wanted to share a few things. So for adrenal glands, it's a little bit more tricky because a lot of it has to do with an accumulation of different strategies, lifestyle strategies that come together to support your adrenals. There's not one thing that helps them. However, there is something that can help your adrenals to adapt to stress a little bit better so that they are not getting burned out so fast while you're doing all of the other lifestyle adjustments to help regulate your nervous system. And those are called adaptogens. So let me know in the comments if you have heard about adaptogens before or if that is the first time that you hear it. So adaptogens are actually remedies. They are either herbal remedies, or they are their roots. Oftentimes, they're roots or plants that have been shown in science and in traditional medicines to help your adrenals to adapt to stress, meaning they're using the medicinal properties of the plants to support itself, the adrenals, to have more energy when it's needed and to calm down when it's time to calm down. So, for example, there is adaptogens such as ashwagandha is one of them. Ashwagandha is popular. A lot of people swear by it. Rhodiola is one of them. Holy basil is one of them, and lemon balm is one of them. There's all sorts of different adaptogen formulas out there, and you'll just have to see which ones are best for you. I personally like, for me personally, I like holy basil. Works best for me. It's an amazing because I'm type A. Rhodiola is too stimulating for me, but holy basil is very, very, very soothing. You can definitely feel the difference in your nervous system response. It helps my adrenals a lot. And the last one I wanted to quickly mention is the vagus nerve support. So vagus nerve in itself, again, is a huge, huge topic, but I just wanted to give you a few things that you can start trying today to help your vagus nerve now that you understand the importance of it, right? So one of my favorite tools to use for vagus nerve support, and so easy, is to have intermittent cold and hot showers in your bathroom, in your shower stall. So the vagus nerve, as you know, is the biggest parasympathetic pathway between the brain and the rest of your body. And the intermittent exposure to cold and heat is starting to almost like wake it up a little bit. It starts to stimulate the tone. It starts to help to kick it into action. And so if you are starting to go in the shower and you start the shower with a really, really hot shower, as hot as you can take it, and then you switch to as cold as you can take it, and you go back and forth a few times, that can really help to stimulate your vagus nerve. My other favorite one is gargling. So the vagus nerve actually runs right by your voice box, and it has been shown that the gargling of your throat, excuse me, is actually stimulating the vagus nerve. It is vibrating and it starts to stimulate and kick it into action a little bit more. So those two things are my favorite and easiest things that you can do in order to start your vagus tone and vagus nerve support. So let's take a deep breath. I mean, that was a lot of information today that I have shared with you today. Let me know in the comments if this was a good session, because I have come to the end of the session. I can't believe it. So we are here. It's the last day of the session, and you guys learned so much about the nervous system today. You have gained a lot of tools and strategies. You have gained a lot of understanding, and you have also gained a lot of understanding about the other two pieces, the gut health and the detoxification pathways. So we have come full circle now in this 3-day challenge with all of these 3 fundamental areas that everybody needs to address in order to move away from fatigue, brain fog, joint pain, inflammation. Let me know in the comment if these 3 days made sense to you. If you have learned new things, if you feel motivated to move forward and implement these things, let me know. It's super, super important for me. I would love to know that. So as I said before, I have created another day for you under the mindset piece. But for those of you who are ready just to take this information, and go out in the world and implement it, you are all set. Like, I have given you such vast amount of tips and information and material to work with, that if you are doing this, you should be on a really good track towards rejuvenation, increased energy, and less inflammation. You can take that and just run with it. However, if you feel that you would like to get more, if you feel that this is just the beginning, this is just the start, this is just something that really kickstarted you into, oh my goodness, I am really motivated now to turn this thing around with my Hashimoto's, I have something for you that you might be interested in. So I have talked a little bit about my Hashimoto's Fatigue Solution program throughout the 3 days. You have gotten a little bit of a sense of what is happening inside my signature program. And I have decided that I am, for the last time in 2024, I am offering this program to you guys, to everybody, for the beta price. So I have run this program for the last year at a beta price, which is 50% off the original investment. Why have I done this? I have done this because of 2 reasons. Number one, I have updated the whole thing, and I wanted to see if I can replicate the same results for women that I have in the past 2 years that I've run this program before. And I've seen now that I have so many amazing women getting such great results in my programs, or in my runs of the program throughout the year, that it has shown me that it works and people are engaging and they're getting their results in place. I have seen women that have reduced their inflammatory markers by 50%. Their liver values are back to normal. I have seen women that are off their oxygen mask at night. They can sleep normal again. I have seen women that come into the group with 15 plus years of severe constipation, gas, and bloating, having regular bowel movements. I have women in the group that are going from being dependent on caffeine to feeling natural energy with not needing caffeine. I mean, there's just so many things that are happening inside this group, this community. It's just amazing. And so I would like to extend the invitation to you guys today. For the last time in 2024, I'm running this program for the beta price, which is a 50% saving of the original investment. Come January 2025, I will bring it back to the original investment. I will not increase it, because I find that during this time right now, a lot of people are struggling with finances and money is tight sometimes. And I really want to make sure that this program is something that everybody can invest in if they are committed to turning this Hashimoto's thing around. So price will go up from the beta price, but it's going to go to the original investment of it, what it was before. So my offer is, I have a 4-month Hashimoto's Fatigue Solution program in place, and I am offering one scholarship to one lady in the challenge who is doing all the work. And I will also continue to offer this beta price to you guys until Christmas, until the end of the year, really. So if you are thinking, if you're in a position where you think you have tried so many things, you feel stuck in your Hashimoto's fatigue, you have tried the AIP, you have tried the paleo, you have tried the exercising for weight loss, it's just not working for you. You can't get yourself to feel energized enough to even do these things. If you're reacting to all of the foods under the world, I have seen it all. I can honestly, hands down, say in my Hashimoto's Fatigue Solution, I have seen it all so far. And we are working together as a team in a community of women that are just like you with the same challenges, but also with the same mindset of motivation and really hope, faith, and excitement of getting better. In this safe community, we're working together as a team. So you will get 12 modules of learning and implementing, and have broken down all of the steps to very strategic, very easy to implement steps through those three pillars that we discussed today, plus blood sugar stabilization in addition, so that you can see results, so that your body is shifting from a state of imbalance to a state of homeostasis, so that the symptoms will start to go away because you're doing the root cause work. And that is the beauty of it. You're not only getting the strategic step by step, you're getting the learning. I have women that print out all of the material and they have like a whole binder of it that they can carry around with, and they refer to it over and over again. I have clients here in this group that have been with me for so many years, and they are still to this day referring back to the material that I have shared with them back in the days when they first joined. So it's a very powerful program. You are immersed in a community of like-minded women, but you are also guided by me personally. And we will get together on a weekly basis in a call. It just rolls over week after week after week. You can come on, ask your questions, get your support, share your wins, share your roadblocks with us, and then get coaching right on the spot. You don't have to show up. If there's no issue if you can't make it. It's always recorded, but we're here for you if you need us. So it's a beautiful concept. It's a beautiful program, very high touch, very high support, and really impactful, easy to take steps and action that move the needle for you. So again, the doors are open now. If you feel this might be something that you would like to investigate, don't hesitate. Call in your 30-minute breakthrough call with me. It's not going to be a sales call, I promise. I'm transparent. I always have my heart on my tongue, so to speak. I'm not hiding anything from you. And if you want to hop on a breakthrough call, we can talk about your own personal situation, where you're at, if this might be something to consider, or if you just want to get like a little bit of a tweak in your journey. I'm here to help for you, to help you this week entirely, right? So this is what I have to offer to you, and I would love to see a lot of you hop on a call with me to discuss if that might be something that you're interested in. Anyways, ladies, we have come to the end of the 3-day challenge. The main core teachings are done. I'm so proud of you for showing up for yourself. Thank you so much for everybody who's putting in the homework, who has been messaging back and forth with me, and giving me such great feedback on the challenge. I know that it is helping a lot of women out there. And if you are up for it, I'm hosting a bonus session on the mindset piece on Saturday at noon. I'm going to be posting about that in the group as well. So do your homework, right? So the challenge is still on. It's not over yet. Do your homework. Engage in the comments. You might win an engagement prize. And if you feel up for it, hop on a breakthrough call with me. I'd be happy to have you and give you more information on whatever you need. All right. Okay, everybody, have a wonderful rest of your evening, and I'll see you again very soon.